Thank God it's Friday. Today, December 3, 2021, we invite you to join us in the next hours for our live streaming via Facebook. I am Noreen Grace P. Hayat, live from the province of Camarines Sur.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Elisa Cañares from the province of Masbate.
And I am Michelle Angela Maristella from Albay, and we will be your hosts for today's town hall.
Allow me also to greet my co-hosts for this activity. Magandang hapon sa inyo, Miss Mitch at Miss Noreen. It's good to see those happy smiles. At sa tulong ng teknolohiya, bagamat magkakalayo tayo ngayon, ay parang magkakasama na rin.
That's right, Miss Maris. Tunay ngang where there's a will, there's a way. Kaya naman, sa kabila ng balakid at hadlang na dulot ng pandemya, ang Civil Service Commission Regional Office 5 ay patuloy na lumalapit sa publiko upang magpaabot ng impormasyon at serbisyo.
Kasama sa mga programa ng Civil Service Commission Regional Office 5 ang Town Hall. This aims to provide an avenue to exchange information on various issues concerning the government workforce in the Bicol region. The CSC, as the Central Human Resource Agency, has always been the partner of civil servants towards excellent public service delivery.
Ngayon pa lang, nais na rin naming magpasalamat sa mga nagpadala ng kanilang katanungan tungkol sa iba't ibang topics. Kukuha rin po tayo ng comments sa ating Facebook page na bibigyang kasagutan ng ating conveners.
Kaya wag na wag po kayong bibitiw dahil baka ang mga tanong na sasagutin ngayong hapon ay katulad ng mga issues na bubabagabag sa inyo. Kabilang na riyan ang examination and eligibility-related questions, election and electioneering, and also maternity leave.
May mga nagtatanong din tungkol sa retirement, year-end bonus at pagpapabakuna.
Ayan, mukhang excited na po ang lahat. But before we proceed, let us go over first with the comments and greet our live viewers. We have with us from San Isidro National High School, Mr. Ramon Jeronimo, and also from the City Government of Iriga, Ma'am Nanette Boyles Berinya. Thank you for watching.
Also, we also have today Mr. Tony Deligero from LGU Barcelona, Sorsogon. Also, Miss Christy Abanto from Camarines Sur.
Hello also to Miss Lorena Herona from Bulan Water District. Also, we have Miss Mai LF watching from LGU Santa Magdalena, Sorsogon. At this point, allow us to introduce and give the floor to this town hall's conveners. Let us all welcome the passionate and admirable leaders of the CSC 5, Director 4, Attorney Daisy Punsalan Bragais, and Acting Director 3, Rosalini V. Moneda. Good afternoon, RD Daisy and ARD Len.
Good afternoon, Noreen. Good afternoon, Director Len, at sa lahat ng mga nanonood dito sa ating town hall.
Good afternoon, Ma'am Day. Good afternoon, Noreen, si Miss Maris, and Miss Mitch. And of course po, yung ating mga nandito na mag-witness ng ating town hall. And our field offices and field directors. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you, RD Daisy and ARD Len. Para sa town hall ngayong hapon, unang bibigyan ng kasagutan ang examination and eligibility-related questions. These past few months and during the town hall in August, the CSCRO5 issued a statement on the conduct of refund for the cancelled March 15, 2020 Career Service Examination, pen and paper tests. However, we are still receiving queries related to such. Isa na po dyan ang babasahin nating tanong ngayon. Ang tanong ay, bakit hindi na lang po hintayin ang sunod na schedule at magpa-online verification kung buhay at interesado pa mag-exam at mag-update po ng data sa susunod po na schedule para po ma-minimize ang movement at mabawasan po ang hirap ng mga nag-file sa pagsakay at sa pamasahe. Doble na po halos ang pamasahe dahil sa pandemic. I-refund po namin, then mag-file ulit. Two times po mag-a-absent. Sasagutin po ito ni RD Daisy. Ma'am?
Maraming salamat dun sa nagtanong. Ito ay patungkol sa na-cancel na March 15, 2020 Career Service Examination. Hindi po lingid sa ating lahat na yan po yung last scheduled examination na hindi po nag-push through dahil po nagkaroon tayo ng pandemic. Kaya po, the Commission decided to refund to all the examinees or yung mga applicants yung examination fee of 500 pesos. Yung refund pong yon is until December 31, 2021. So ngayon po, December 3 na, di ba? So ilang araw na lang po, meron yung ating mga mag-e-exam sana for the March 15, 2021 Career Service Exam para po mag-refund. Continuous naman po yung aming refund, pwedeng in person or online. Ngayon po, bakit kailangang mag-refund yung komisyon? At bakit hindi na lang ito schedule gaya po ng sinabi ng nagtanong? Unang-una po, yung pag-schedule po kasi ng career service exam ngayong taon, very unpredictable po dahil po sa ating very uncertain times. Iba-iba po yung mga alert levels, iba-iba yung quarantine classification. Kaya minsan po mag-schedule then hindi naman po matutuloy. So isa po yun sa mga rason. And is another reason kung bakit po kailangang mag-refund is yung declaration po ng state of calamity na extend pa po yun, di po ba? And then, yung conduct naman po ng examination, this is subject to the approval of the IATF. Yan po yung Interagency Task Force since syempre maramihan po yung pagpapa-exam. And ayaw din po ng Civil Service Commission na maging super spreader event ang aming pagpapa-exam at magipong life-threatening sa mga examinees, pati na po sa mga examiners. Meron din pong clamor for the refund of the examination fee considering that many people needed money to spend for daily needs during the pandemic. Kaya po talagang kailangan itong ma-refund. Now, since it has been almost 2 years since the application period for the canceled March 15, 2020 Career Service Examinations, yun pong mga naisumite na mga dokumento ng mga applicant may no longer be valid for the succeeding examinations. Kagaya po ng mga IDs. Kasi yung mga karamihan po ng naipresent ng IDs, ito po ay may mga expiration date. At yung photo or yung mga larawan po ng mga naisubmit, hindi na po siya considered na recent. Kasi po yung rules sa examination, application, yung picture po na isasubmit should be taken within the last 3 months. And another reason, bakit po kailangang mag-refund? In compliance po sa national and local COVID-19 task force, health and safety protocols, may mga changes po sa examination guidelines and requirements for the implementation ng mga succeeding pong examinations. So, ang ilan po ditong requirements, ito po yung additional cost sa mga examinees like the need to undergo the RT-PCR or saliva or antigen test, whichever is required. So ito pong mga itong mga test na ito should be undertaken within 3 to 5 days and 24 hours before the exam day. So iba-iba po yan. Nagbabago po kasi yung mga rules din natin at mga protocols. Then, yung iba pa po, kailangan mag-self-isolate. For example, galing kasi ibang lugar, pupunta kasi isang testing center, may mga requirement na self-isolation or quarantine until the day of examination. So, these are reasons kung bakit po kailangan namin mag-refund March 15, 2020 Career Service examination. So, pinapakiusapan po namin kayo kung kayo man po ay may kakilala o kayo mismo, hindi pa po kayo nagre-refund, you have until December 31, 2021 para po makuha nyo po ng buo yung 500 pesos na naibayad ninyo. At pwede po kayong pumunta sa link na refund.ro5itg.com. Very easy naman po mag-navigate dyan sa link na yan, yung refund.ro5itg.com. I-click nyo lang po yung need help button. Located po yan sa lower right side of the screen para po kayo ay magabayan kung paano po kayo mag-refund. So yan po yung aming panawagan para doon sa mga hindi pa po nakakapag-refund. At yan yung mga reasons why we need to refund the examination fee. Thank you po.
For the reiteration, Ma'am Day, ang susunod na tanong ay tungkol sa isa sa mga special eligibilities na ibinibigay ng CSC. Ito ang Barangay Official Eligibility o BOE. Ang tanong, ayon sa nagpadala nito, umaasa siyang pati SK Kagawad ay mabigyan ng Barangay Official Eligibility dahil deserve din ito ng bawat SK Kagawad. Naghihirap din naman po kaming makapagserbisyo sa kapwa naming kabataan. And malaking tulong din po ito sa mga naghahanap ng trabaho, lalo pa at eligibility ang palaging hinahanap. Sana lang po ay i-consider ito ng CSC. The second question will be answered by ARD Len. Ma'am Len.
Thank you, Mitch. At maraming salamat doon sa nagpadala ng kanyang tanong. Ang Barangay Official Eligibility po ay alinsunod sa Republic Act 7160 or the Local Government Code of 1991. At doon po ang nakasaad ay ang punong barangay. Ano ang cover nung pag-grant ng Barangay Official Eligibility ay ang mga punong barangay, sangguniang bayan barangay members, sangguniang barangay members, barangay treasurer, barangay secretary, and the SK chairperson as the ex-officio member of the sangguniang barangay. Although po ina-acknowledge natin na mahirap din maging isang sangguniang kabataan kagawad, pero po hindi po considered as member of the sangguniang barangay ang SK members. So in the meantime, hindi po siya kasali. And halimbawa man po, kailangan po ng amendment ng local government code in the future para po in case maisali po sila. Pero at present, hindi po siya included doon sa mga magagranta ng barangay official eligibility. As sinite ko po kanina kung sino-sino lang yung mga covered based on the local government code of 1991.
Salamat po, Ma'am Len. And now we go to the next question. The next question is still an examination related. Mula po ito sa Human Resource Managers Association of Albay Incorporated. Ang tanong nila is, can our agency request for the conduct of special career service examination pen and paper test exclusively for our personnel? What are the requirements? This will be answered by RD Bergais. Ma'am?
Salamat ulit sa nagtanong. Mukhang maraming tanong sa examination at sa akin ata na-assign lahat ng tanong sa exam. Ngayon po yung tanong kung pwedeng mag-request yung mga ahensya ng gobyerno for the conduct of special career service examination, pen and paper test exclusively sa kanilang mga personnel at ano yung mga requirements. Opo, pwede pong mag-request yung mga ahensya para magkaroon ng conduct of special examination exclusively for their personnel. So ito pong agency requested examination, pwede po itong ma-schedule sa first SEM ng 2022. Kailangan nyo lang pong magsulat sa aming opisina para maipaabot po namin sa aming central office yung inyong request para sa agency special examination. Pero ito lang po ang kailangan nyong alalahanin na ito po ay exclusive sa mga empleyado ng opisinang yon. Magtatanong kayo, mag-e-exam to eh. Ang mga empleyado namin dati na namang eligible, di ba? Sino-sino po? Kasi po sa mga bawat ahensya, meron kayong ang iba contract of service, may mga job order, or minsan nga may mga institutional workers tayong tinatawag. So, pwede ba sila? Sila po pwede ninyong i-request na magkaroon ng examination para magkaroon din sila ng mga eligibility dahil in the event na marami po kayong bakante sa inyong opisina, ay pwede na po silang mag-apply. Pero po, bawal po kasi yung mga ride-on arrangement. Ano po yung mga ride-on arrangement? Bawal po yung mga outsiders not belonging to the requesting agency. Hindi po pwede silang sumali doon sa mga mag-e-exam. Dito po kasali yung mga anak ng mga relatives ng mga nag-uupisina doon sa ahensya. So ang pwede lang talaga po yung mga contract of service, job order, or kahit yung mga institutional workers. Ang ipipresent po kasi nilang ID ay yung ID na ginagamit nila sa opisina. O kung yung mga outsourced workers naman po, yung private company ID ang ipipresent, pero kailangan po ng certification from the agency HR that they are currently under service contract with a requesting government agency. So uulitin ko po, hindi pwede yung ride-on ng mga kamag-anak o mga anak ng mga empleyado doon sa loob ng ahensya. Kailangan po mga nagtatrabaho na either job order or contract of service or outsourced workers. At kung kayo po ay magre-request ang ahensya ninyo, kayo po ay may mga duties and responsibilities. Kasi po kayo yung mag-identify ng testing venue in accordance with the rules na binibigay po ng komisyon. At kailangan pong mag-submit ng ilan po yung number ng mga empleyado na mag-e-exam, whether it's professional or sub-professional. And then, magkakaroon din po ng agency focal person. Kaya po, yung lahat ng gusto pong mag-request, ina-advise po namin kayo, please coordinate with our Examination Services Division na pinapangunahan po yan ni Ms. Charlene Prieto. Siya po ang magbibigay sa inyo ng mga rules tungkol po sa mga agency requested examination. So kung kayo po ay interesado, please contact Ms. Charlene Prieto ng aming Examination Services Division. Thank you po.
Thank you, RD Bergais, for the clarification. Mula naman po sa Provincial Government of Sorsogon, ang susunod na tanong. This is about maternity leave. Narito po ang tanong. Good afternoon po. I would like to clarify regarding the expanded maternity leave. As mentioned, job orders are allowed to take the maternity leave even if there is no employee employer relationship. Kindly enlighten us on this matter. Thank you. Again, may I call in AR Len for the response? Ma'am Len?
Thank you, Miss Noreen, at maraming salamat din doon sa nagpadala ng kanyang tanong. Regarding ito sa expanded maternity leave. So, di ba po ang job order employees, wala pong employee-employer relationship with the government. Pero under po the expanded maternity leave law, entitled sila ng benefits. Now, ang female contract of service or job order workers in the government, classified po sila na they are classified as female workers in the informal economy. Makaka-claim po sila ng maternity benefits from the GSIS kung halimbawang sila ay nag-remit ng kanilang contribution sa SSS. Ang requirement po ay at least 3 months, 3 monthly contributions in the 12-month period immediately preceding the semester of her childbirth, miscarriage, or emergency termination of pregnancy. So nakasaad po yan doon sa expanded maternity leave law. Now, kung sila naman po ay non-SSS member, pwede po silang mag-avail ng healthcare services for prenatal delivery, postpartum, and pregnancy-related conditions doon po sa Philippine Health Insurance Corporation or PhilHealth. So, yun po yung coverage na pwedeng ma-avail nung mga buntis at manganganak. So, yun po. Thank you.
Thank you, AR Len. And now, let's move on to the next query. It's from the local government unit of Bulusan, Sorsogon, and the provincial government of Sorsogon. Here's the question. If an employee filed a letter of intent for optional retirement and was approved by the local chief executive, and suddenly, after several months, the employee changed her mind and wanted to retrieve her application, does the employee has the right to withdraw her application? Does the employee have to write a request letter regarding the withdrawal since there is no prescribed form in the Ora-Ora? What if the LCE does not allow her to retrieve the same since it was approved and funded already? What will be the course of action to this? Tawagin po nating muli si Director for Bragais para sagutin ang tanong. Ma'am Day?
Salamat, Noreen. Parang interesting masyado yung tanong about optional retirement. So, ang pakakaintindi ko po doon sa tanong ay nag-file ng optional retirement and it has already been approved or accepted by the local chief executive. So, nagtatanong kung pwede bang bawiin yon. Pwede naman po. Yung empleyado na nag-file ay pwede namang mag-withdraw ng kanyang application. Pero, ito po may pero tayo. This is subject to the local chief executive's discretion whether to accept its withdrawal. Kasi meron pong kaso na nadesisyonan ang Korte Suprema. In the case of Rubio versus Santo Tomas, ito ay, this was decided in 1990. The court said that the acceptance or not of the withdrawal of an employee's optional retirement should be made to lie within the discretion of the head of office in the interest of the service. So the filing of an application for optional retirement and the withdrawal thereof are lateral acts that cannot by themselves become effective without the approval by the proper official. So in this case, the local chief executive. So the withdrawal is subject to the judgment and discretion of the approving authority after an assessment and evaluation of the competence and effectiveness of employees within the service. So in the event that the local chief executive does not allow its withdrawal as the application for optional retirement has already been approved and funded, kailangan pong i-accept na lang ng empleyado yung decision ng local chief executive. So in effect, the employee is considered retired from the government service. Now, it should be emphasized that the decision whether to approve an application for optional retirement and the acceptance or not of its withdrawal lies within the discretion of the proper official in the interest of the service. So sana po nasagot ko yung nagtanong, yung taga Sorsogon na nagtanong po nito.
Thank you, RD Daisy. Definitely a crystal clear answer. Dahil nga holiday season na at paniguradong lahat naman tayo ay inaabangan ito. Simula pa lang siguro ng Burr months. Kaya naman, isa sa mga natanggap nating tanong para sa town hall na ito ay tungkol sa year-end bonus. Nagmula po ito sa probinsya ng Camarines Norte. Narito pa ang tanong, if yung employee ng Department of Education nag-transfer sa land bank with no gap in service, effective November 3, 2021, yung year-end bonus po is LBP na ang mabayad. Ang basis ay ang new salary niya sa LBP. Mas mataas po ang salary niya sa LBP. Nakalagay po sa Circular I, shall be paid by the new agency. May we request ARD Len to provide a response for this query? Ma'am Len?
Thank you, Noreen. And doon po sa nagpadala ng tanong. So siya ay nag-transfer from the Department of Education to Land Bank of the Philippines. So ang Land Bank of the Philippines ay government under the GOCC. So may rule, may MC po na ipinalabas ang Government Commission, Governance Commission for GOCC. At yun po ang pagbabasehan natin yung interim rules and guidelines for the grant of mid-year bonus, year-end bonus, and cash gift under Executive Order number 36, series of 2017 for fiscal year 2018 and years thereafter. So ano po ang nakasaad doon? Di ba po ang requirements sa pag-grant ng year-end bonus na equivalent sa 1-month basic salary as of October 31 and cash gift of 5,000 shall be given to qualified employee not earlier than November 15 of the current year. Pero po, ginagrant ito, mayroong requirement na dapat ay nakapag-render ka na ng at least a total or an aggregate of 4 months service, whether continuous or intermittent, including leave of absence with pay from January 1 to October 31 of the current year. And the GOCC personnel remains to be in the government service as of October 31 of the same year. And then when the year-end bonus or cash gift of personnel who transferred from one agency to another may be granted by the new agency. Okay, so given yung provisions po doon sa Governance Commission for GOCC, yung MC na sinite ko kanina, ngayon yung year-end bonus ng empleyado na from DepEd to Land Bank ang magbabayad ay Land Bank of the Philippines. Dahil sabi dito, it should be paid by the new agency. However, ano po ang basis? Kasi sabi niya, mas mataas yung sweldo niya sa Land Bank kesa nung sweldo niya na nandoon siya sa Department of Education. So the basis of the year-end bonus, however, shall be the salary of the employee as of October 31, 2021. Or in this case, ang sweldo niya, kasi as of October 31, nandun pa siya sa Department of Education. So ang basis ng computation ng kanyang year-end bonus ay ang sweldo niya sa Department of Education, pero ang magbabayad noon ay ang Land Bank of the Philippines dahil yun na yung kanyang bagong ahensya. So, thank you.
Maraming salamat, ARD Len, sa pagbibigay linaw sa naging katanungan tungkol sa year-end bonus. This time, kumustahin naman natin ang mga lingkod bayanis na nakaantabay ngayong hapon. We have from LGU, Pilar Sorsogon, Sir Jerry Mediana, and also from LGU Buhi, Sir Bitoy Po Rocan. I've also seen in full force the Masbate Human Resource Management practitioners together with our director and the CSC MFO family. Salamat po sa panunood at pakikinig. Talagang siksik na siksik ang mga topics for today. And now, let us move on to the next question, which is about election. The inquiry is from the province of Catanduanes. Ito po ang kanilang tanong. Pwede pa daw po ba mag-hire as job order ang mga nag-file ng candidacy for the May 2022 election? May we hear the answer from RD Daisy? Ma'am Day?
Maraming salamat, Maris, doon sa nagtanong. Talagang parang election fever na, no? Kasi marami ng mga nag-file ng mga certificates ng kanila of candidacy. Ang tanong mo ay, pwede bang ma-hire as job order ang mga nag-file ng candidacy for the May 2022 election? Now, balikan natin yung provision sa Omnibus Rules on Appointments and Other Human Resource Actions or tinatawag nating ORA-ORA. Ito naman ay lifted pa rin sa Executive Order 292 na ang nakalagay dito ay a person holding a public appointive office or position, including active members of the armed forces, shall be considered ipso facto resigned from his or her office upon filing of the Certificate of Candidacy. He or she must vacate the same at the start of the day of the filing of the Certificate of Candidacy with the COMELEC, even if later on disqualified or has withdrawn the Certificate of Candidacy. Ito yung nasa ora-ora natin. Pero ito kasi nagpipresuppose na empleyado ng gobyerno yung nag-file ng Certificate of Candidacy. Ngayon yung tanong dito ay, yung nag-file ng Certificate of Candidacy, kung pwedeng ma-employ as job order. So, ibig sabihin, wala siya sa gobyerno or pribadong tao siya. Then, nag-file siya ng Certificate of Candidacy and then, ang tanong kung pwede ba siyang ma-hire as job order. Now, wala po kasi akong, naghanap kami ng batas. Wala naman po kasing law or rule na nagbabawal na mag-employ as job order of a government office or agency yung mga nag-file ng Certificate of Candidacy. Please take note na yung job order po or contract of service, wala po silang tinatawag na employer-employee relationship. Kaya hindi po sila considered as government worker. So, pribado kang tao, nag-file ka ng certificate, di kandidato ka na, ang job order kasi or contract of service, may duration lang naman po yan. Ano yung covered ng contract? May mga provisions po yan. Okay, so wala naman po siyang employer-employee relationship. Now, kailangan ko lang pong i-emphasize na once elected, for example, na-elect na po siya, they become now or he or she becomes ineligible for appointment in any capacity to any public position during his or her tenure. And may prohibition din po from receiving additional, double, or indirect compensation unless specifically authorized by law. So sana po nasagot ko yung, sigurado po kandidato yung nagtanong nito. So sana po nasagot ko po yung inyong katanungan.
Maraming salamat po, Ma'am RD. Tungkol pa rin sa eleksyon ang susunod na katanungan. Ito po ay galing kay Miss Imelda Bisco, HRMO2 ng Local Government Unit of Milaor, Camarines Sur. Let us watch the video.
And my question is this. A Coterminous employee filed a certificate of candidacy for this coming election. What would be his or her status now if he or she did not win in the election? But his appointing authority, let's say the mayor, won this election. Will he be considered back to his position? Thank you.
At ang tanong mula sa LGU Milaor ay bibigyang tugon ni ARD Len. Ma'am Len?
Thank you, Miss Maris, at kay Ma'am Imelda Bisco doon sa kanyang tanong. So related nga yung tanong doon sa unang tanong din na sinagot ni Ma'am Day. Ang kaibahan lang, yung tanong sa una ay job order. Ito naman ay coterminous. So coterminous employee siya. So may employee-employer relationship. So i-reiterate ko lang, na-mention kanina ni Ma'am Day na a coterminous employee, ito naman ay coterminous. Kanina sabi ko ay yung kay Ma'am Day ay job order. So, a coterminous employee is then ipso facto resigned from the government service upon the filing of his or her certificate of candidacy. In the event he or she lost in the election, the resignation remains effective. So meaning, pagka-file niya ng kanyang certificate of candidacy, parang it follows na siya po ay nag-resign. Effective ang kanyang resignation as government employee. Now, doon sa kanyang tanong na, what if nanalo yung kanyang nanalo yung kanyang appointing authority, which is the mayor, siya ba ay makakabalik? Now, ang sagot ko po dyan ay manalo man o matalo ang appointing authority or ang mayor, he may not go back. Hindi siya pwedeng makabalik because meron tayong prohibition po under ora-ora, di ba po, na ang sabi doon, it prohibits the appointment or re-employment of a person who lost in an election to any office in a government or government-owned and controlled corporation within 1 year from such election. So, which means na manalo man ang kanyang appointing authority, hindi pa rin siya makakabalik right away because of this prohibition na pag ikaw ay nag-file, government employee ka, nag-file ka ng certificate of candidacy at ikaw ay natalo sa election, merong 1-year prohibition bago ikaw ay makabalik or mag-re-employ sa gobyerno. So, ito pong 1 year ay effective siya. And then, so, sabi ko nga po kanina, hindi siya right away makakabalik sa kanyang position. So, yun po, yung aking kasagutan doon. Sana po ay nalinawan yung si Madam Imelda doon sa kanyang katanungan.
Thank you, ARD Len. for the clarification. Dalawang issues tungkol sa eleksyon ang nabigyang kasagutan. Ngayon naman po ay tungkol sa tinatawag na electioneering or partisan political activity ang sasagutin ng ating conveners. Panoorin po natin ang video mula kay Miss Mena Ives Bordeos, HRMO3 of the Local Government Unit of Esperanza, Masbate.
Good day, everyone. I am Manny Ives Budeos, Human Resource Management Officer 3 of the Local Government Unit of Esperanza Province of Masbate. The elections are still 6 months away, but we can already feel that the election period has unofficially started, so to speak, and the battle is being waged not on the streets but on social media. So my question or my query is related to this. Um, with regards to those government employees who like, post, or share political content on the social media platforms, are there any specific words or phrases, photos, memes, or news, or the like with political content that a government employee is allowed or not allowed or restricted from posting, liking, sharing? Because there seems to be a very thin line since social media is now the mode of expression of the modern generation. So that is my concern as a human resource management practitioner with regards to the posting of the government employees of political content. Thank you.
Let us now listen to the answer, which will come from RD Daisy. Ma'am?
Thank you, Maris. Still an election-related question. First, let me clarify the term electioneering or engaging in partisan political activity. Ito po kasi ay nakapaloob sa Omnibus Election Code. Andyan din siya sa Administrative Code of 1987 and meron din prohibition sa Local Government Code of 1991. Of course, meron din pong nakalagay sa ora-ora. Now, when we speak of partisan political activities, they refer to any act designated to promote the election or defeat of a particular candidate or candidates or party or parties to public office. Ito po ay kasi may mga makikita kayong iboto si kung sino man po yung kandidato. And then meron din namang makikita kayo na wag iboto si kung sino man po yung kandidato. So, whether po pinopromote nyo yung pagkapanalo or pagkatalo ng isang kandidato at kayo ay empleyado ng gobyerno, yan po, nag-i-engage kayo niyan sa partisan political activity. But the question is, what about yung mga posts sa Facebook or any social media platforms? Posts like sharing, liking, posting comments. Ano po ba yan? Kasali po ba yan sa prohibition? Now, in 2016, the CSC and COMELEC issued a joint advisory or joint circular on electioneering and partisan political activities. Ito po ay na-share namin sa aming official Facebook account, yung kabuuhan po nito. Because this is a long circular, marami pong nakapalaman, andun po lahat ng mga dapat at hindi dapat gawin ng mga nasa gobyerno. Pero very clear din po doon sa advisory na yon na sa mga social media po in terms of liking, commenting, sharing, reposting, or following a candidate's party or a candidate's account, unless these are resorted as a means to solicit support for or against a candidate or party during the campaign period, allowed naman po siya. So, let me repeat that. Mere liking, mere commenting, or sharing or even posting or reposting or following, because sometimes or we can follow anyone in Facebook, a party or a candidate, hindi naman po siya prohibited. Ang ang ano lang po dito is unless these are resorted as a means to solicit support for or against a candidate or party. So if you see a social media post and you like its content, but it pertains to a particular candidate or party, hindi naman po bawal mag-like, mag-heart, mag-angry, or ano pa, mag-sad. Yung mga emoticons po na andoon sa social media or sa Facebook. Ngayon, ang bawal lang po is kung nagsabi na kayong iboto nyo si Juan de la Cruz. If Juan de la Cruz is the candidate, yun po ang bawal. But expressing opinions, hindi naman po tayo pinagbabawalan as government employees to express our opinions, even in social media. Pwede nyo ngang sabihin na ako ang iboboto ko ay si. Okay? Pwedeng si Juan de la Cruz. Dahil, ano yung mga reason mo? Hindi rin po yun bawal. Ang bawal na po ay, iboboto ko si Juan de la Cruz, kaya kailangan iboto ninyo rin siya. So, yun po yung bawal. When you encourage others to vote for your chosen candidate, or when you tell others not to vote for a candidate, yun po yung bawal. Pero sabi ko nga, mere liking, mere posting, resharing, or following a candidate, these are not prohibited unless po nagpo-promote na kayo ng kandidato. Now, what about wearing colors associated with a particular candidate? Well, mere wearing of green, red, pink, yellow, universal naman po kasi itong mga colors na to. Hindi naman tayo pwedeng pagbawalan magsuot ng green or magsuot ng pink or magsuot ng pula. Di ba? Wag lang po yung t-shirt magkaroon ng iboto si. Yan po yung bawal. Even wearing caps or bowlers, na nakalagay po kung sino yung dapat iboto, yun po yung mga pinagbabawal. But wearing a shirt or clothes or dresses with colors associated with a particular candidate, hindi naman po siya bawal. So I hope this clarified the question posed. Maraming salamat po, and sana po uh, wag tayong pumasok doon sa prohibition on engaging in partisan political activity. So let this be a reminder to all civil servants, especially here in Region 5, to please be very careful with your posts dahil po maraming nagmamatsyag. Even if you remove your post, marami na po naka-screenshot niyan. So we don't want to see any complaints against you filed in our office. Thank you po.
Thank you, RD Daisy. We hope that we will all be guided accordingly. The next query is also about electioneering. It is from Mr. Marlon B. Atun of the Philippine Information Agency of Sorsogon. Please watch this.
Good afternoon. Ako po si Marlon Luto ng Philippine Information Agency Sorsogon. May concern lang po kami kasi marami din nagtatanong sa amin patungkol sa tinatawag natin na electioneering insofar as the government employees are concerned. Now, malaman lang po namin kung ano po yung pagkakaiba ng violation sa electioneering na tinatawag between the civil servants and the elective officials. Yun lang po at thank you very much.
Let us now hear the answer from AR Dilen. Ma'am.
Maraming salamat, Ms. Noreen, and thank you kay Sir Marlon Atun ng PIA Sorsogon. So, yung electioneering na sagot na kanina ni Ma'am Day. So, ang tanong ngayon, what is the difference between civil servants and elective officials in relation to electioneering? Ngayon, sa 1987 Constitution, ang general provision doon is, babasahin ko, no officer or employee in the civil service shall engage directly or indirectly in any electioneering or partisan political campaign. Now, meron din tayong Administrative Code of 1987. Ang nakasaad po doon, no officer or employee in the civil service, including members of the armed forces, shall engage directly or indirectly in any partisan political activity or take part in any election except to vote, nor shall he use his official authority or influence to coerce a political activity or any other person or body, provided, mayroon pong provided that public officers and employees holding political offices may take part in political and electoral activities, but it shall be unlawful for them to solicit contributions from their subordinates or subject them to any of the acts involving subordinates prohibited in the election code. So, ang pinapayagan po ay ang those under political offices or employees or public officers holding political offices. Ngayon siguro magtatanong kayo, ano yung mga political offices? So ang mga political offices under po sa joint circular series of 2016 of the COMELEC and the Civil Service Commission, ang political offices covered by the exemption are the President and the Vice President, members of the Cabinet, other elective public officials except barangay officials, personal and confidential staff of the above-mentioned officials, members of the Reserve Corps of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. So ito po yung kasama sa exemption because they are political offices. Ngayon po, how about yung barangay officials? Ang barangay officials, being non-partisan by nature, are not exempted and therefore prohibited from engaging in election campaign or partisan political activity when the campaign period starts. The rest of civil servants holding non-political or non-elective offices or serving in all branches, subdivisions, instrumentalities, and agencies of the government are covered by the Omnibus Election Code. So they are prohibited from taking partisan and political activities. So, sana po na bigyan ko ng linaw yung katanungan or nasagot ko po yung katanungan ni Sir Marlon ng PIA Sorsogon.
Maraming salamat po ARD Len sa pagbibigay linaw sa usaping electioneering. Isa pa sa mga talagang napapanahong paksa ay ang COVID-19 at ang vaccination program ng pamahalaan. Narito po ang tanong tungkol dito na ipinadala ng isang anonymous sender. Pwede po ba na mandatory i-require ng head office ang mga empleyado na magpabaksin? May we hear the answer from RD Daisy? Ma'am?
Thank you, Noreen. This is a very timely question because kalalabas lang po ng announcement from the Office of the President. I know everyone has read or has learned of this particular announcement na nire-require po yung mga empleyado both ng public and private sector doing on-site work to be fully vaccinated against the coronavirus disease or COVID-19. So ito yung I think dito nag-stem yung tanong nung ating yung anonymous natin na tanong. Well, the opinion of our office is that such policy, whether to make vaccination mandatory in an agency or in an office, this involves constitutional issues, which is beyond our office's authority to resolve and determine. However, please take note that in the announcement issued by the Office of the President, employees who remain to be unvaccinated may not be terminated but are required to undergo regular RT-PCR testing or antigen tests at their own expense. So, ulitin ko lang po, hindi naman yung mga unvaccinated employees po na magre-report on site, hindi naman po sila i-terminate. But they are required to undergo RT-PCR testing at their own expense. Now, whether they are to be held administratively liable remains to be unclear. Now, I read the opinion of Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara. Parang na-publish po siya sa newspaper. Nagbigay po siya ng opinion na it is within the President's power to compel vaccination. But the police power of the state cannot extend to imposing penalties without a law authorizing it. So let me just read the position of the Secretary of Justice on the matter. Ito po yung kanyang sinabi. The President correctly invoked police power as basis to compel anti-COVID vaccination for everyone except those who have valid reasons. The power rests upon the inherent right of the state and the people to self-protection. But this power, especially if accompanied by penalties or sanctions to enforce obedience or compliance, must be exercised through the legislature. In other words, there should be a law, okay, na minamandate ang pagpapabakuna. Now, in the absence of a law, the executive branch may only use moral suasion, including the grant of incentives, to encourage widespread voluntary vaccination. Local government units may pass their own local ordinance to put teeth into Duterte's push for mandatory vaccination to speed up the recovery from the impact of the pandemic. So theoretically, a local ordinance compelling all residents within the territory of the LGU to get themselves vaccinated against COVID-19 may be enacted even without a national law on the matter. But like all laws and ordinances invoking police power, it may be challenged in court by anyone on the issue of reasonableness, among others. So while the state may invoke police power for the welfare of the people in general, there is the other issue of whether or not the measure is unreasonable or oppressive. So uulitin ko po, may karapatan naman po na magbigay yung ating gobyerno ng ganong announcement or advisory, pero kailangan daw po may batas para maging mandatory yung pagpapabakuna. Now, in the absence of a law, pwede naman daw po yung national law, pwedeng magpasa ng local ordinance ang mga local government units. Pero sabi ko nga kanina, pwede pong i-challenge itong mga local ordinances na to before our courts. Now, accordingly, existing laws and rules in the civil service neither prohibit nor allow such mandatory vaccinations. Thus, Hindi po kami magbibigay ng categorical opinion on the matter until clear guidelines are issued by the President or the Congress has passed the necessary law or legislation. Now, kung magkaroon man po ng ganitong mandato ang inyong ahensya, ang proper recourse naman po ninyo is to seek redress sa proper authorities. Ngayon po, may latest naman po, we're also waiting for the policy doon po sa mga civil servants na mga unvaccinated. May lumabas din po kasi sa CNN Philippines na interview yung aming commissioner na the commission will nagka-craft po ng policy tungkol dun sa mga unvaccinated civil servants or the requirement for RT-PCR. So as soon as maibaba po yung policy na yon, rest assured that we will disseminate that policy through our official social media pages sa aming website.
Thank you very much, RD Daisy and ARD Len, for shedding light on the pressing issues that were raised by the public and our fellow civil servants from the different agencies in the Bicol region.
Paniguradong nalinawan at nakapulot ng mahahalagang impormasyon ang viewers natin ngayong hapon. Mga impormasyon na sana ay inyo rin pong ibahagi sa inyong mga kakilala. Ayon nga po sa American author na si Seth Godin, the right information brings knowledge. And knowledge is power. Sharing it is empowerment.
Kaya naman, Miss Noreen at Miss Mitch, ating pasalamatan ang nagbigay ng liwanag sa mga isyong napag-usapan ngayong hapon. Thank you very much to our Regional Director, Attorney Daisy Punzalan Bragais, at Acting Assistant Regional Director, Rosalini V. Moneda. But before we conclude this town hall, may we listen to ARD Len for her closing message.
Thank you, Miss Maris. Marami pong salamat sa mga katanungan na ipinadala po ninyo at sana naman po ay nabigyan namin ng linaw ang inyong mga kasagutan. At sabi nga kanina ni Miss Noreen, ibahagi niyo po sa inyong mga kasama ang inyong natutunan, napulot na impormasyon dito para po malinawan din po yung ating mga kasama tungkol sa mga issue related po na ibinigay niyo dito sa amin. At thank you kay Miss Maris, kay Noreen at kay Mitch at sa lahat po ng ating mga nanonood ngayong araw. Happy Friday, God bless you and keep safe po. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat po, ma'am. Ngayon naman, tawagin po ulit natin si RD Daisy para sa kanyang mensahe. Ma'am?
Maraming salamat, Mitch. First, I'd like to thank yung ating pong magagaling at magagandang host dito sa town hall natin. This is our last for 2021. Maraming salamat kay Noreen, kay Maris at kay Mitch sa kanilang pag-host nitong ating town hall. And of course, I'd like to thank yung mga nagpadala po ng mga katanungan, ng mga questions, at sana po nabigyan namin ng kasagutan yung inyong mga naipadalang tanong. Maraming salamat po sa inyo dahil patuloy kayong nagsusuporta sa lahat ng programa ng Civil Service Commission Regional Office 5. Kung ano man po yung mga na-accomplish ng aming opisina sa taong ito for 2021, ito po ay iniaalay namin sa inyo sa mga partner government agencies, sa mga partner organizations, mga HRMPs, Human Resource Management Practitioners dito sa Bicol Region at sa iba pa pong lugar na patuloy pong nagsusuporta, sumusulat sa amin, nagpapadala ng magagandang at positibong mga mensahe. Maraming salamat po. Yung mga maa-accomplish pa po namin for the succeeding years sana po palagi kayong andyan to support all our programs here in the region. So ngayon po, this is our last town hall, sabi ko nga po. Pero next year po, rest assured that we will continue with the conduct of this town hall para po this will become the avenue for us to engage with you, our stakeholders, and for us to be able to know kung ano man po yung inyong mga suggestions, kung ano yung inyong mga questions. Now, on behalf of the Civil Service Commission Regional Office 5, we wish you a very Merry Christmas, a safe Christmas with your family at sa mga kasamahan nyo po sa trabaho. At sana po sa susunod na taon, pwede na tayong magkita-kita face-to-face sa ating mga learning and development programs, sa ating mga meeting. Yan po yung ating mga wish for the coming year. So maraming salamat po ulit. Stay safe everyone. And sana po palagi lang tayong masaya. Marami tayong mga challenges. But rest assured that here in Region 5, we will serve you with integrity and excellence.
Maraming salamat po, Ma'am RD. At syempre, nais din po naming pasalamatan ang lahat ng field offices ng CSC RO5. To the CSC Field Office Camarines Norte, headed by Acting Director 2, Alicia P. Salinas. Of course, to CSC Field Office Masbate, with my very own Director 2, Jocelyn L. Marifosque.
Maraming salamat din po sa CSCFO Albay, headed by my Director 2, Sharon Farida A. Flores. Also, CSCFO Sorsogon with Director 2, Emeline O. Severo.
Thank you also to CSCFO Camarines Sur, headed by my director, Director 2 Maria Dolores D. Salud, and also to CSCFO Catanduanes with Director 2 Enida B. Abordo.
Our gratitude also goes to the great minds of CSC RO5 personnel who were instrumental in the conduct and success of this town hall.
Maraming salamat din po sa mga kasama natin ngayong sign language interpreters na sina Miss Teresita D. Almeida, SPED Teacher 5, and Miss Dionilyn S. Cañares, SPED Teacher 1 from Legazpi City National High School, headed by Dr. Jeremy Cruz. To those who sent their questions and to everyone who joined us in this activity, maraming salamat po. To my co-hosts, Miss Mitch and Miss Maris, thank you. Muli, ako po si Noreen Grace P. Hayag ng CSCFO Camarines Sur.
Ako naman po si Michelle Angela Maristela ng CSCFO Albay.
And I am Marisa Cañares of CSCFO Masbate. And this is the CSC RO5 Town Hall.
Padayon Lingkod Bayani, Padayon Bicol Region.
Be informed, be engaged.
Be empowered. Thank you everyone and stay safe.
Sawari mo'y nag-iisa.
Lahat kanya-kanya.
Ngunit di man nagsasama.
Kaya pang magkaisa.
Isa sa pag-iingat.
isa sa ating dasal. Laging nagpapatunay
na tayo'y makatao pa.
Together we are being called to make a future world. The test we face is for us to prove that we can heal as one. We heal as one with kindness. We heal as one. We serve, we share, we show compassion. We heal as one.
Pari mo'y nag-iisa.
But when we heal,
We heal as one.
isa sa pag-iingat, isa sa ating dasal.
Lahing nagpapatunay
Na tayo'y makatao pa. Together we are being called to make a future world. Test we face is for us to prove that we can heal as one.
is when we heal as one.
We heal as one with kindness. We heal as one. We serve, we share, we show compassion. We heal as one.
Sa pari mo'y nag-iisa.
But when we heal, we heal, we heal as one with kindness. We heal as one. We serve, we share, we show compassion. We heal as one.
Sa pari mo'y nag-iisa. But when we heal,
Yes, we will heal. We heal.
yes, we can heal.
We heal. We heal as one. We heal as one. Tara na kanta na Pilipinas, ipakita na ang galing ng Pilipino. Tara na kanta na Pilipinas. Visayas, Mindanao. Dinig mo ay sadyang kahanga-hanga. Awit mo ay salamin ng iyong buhay. Aawitin ng buong bansa. Ang galing mo, kapatid, kailanman. Buong bansa ngayon ay kakanta. Tunang na kanta na Pilipinas. Ipakita na ang galing ng Pilipino. Tara na kanta na Pilipinas. Oh, tara na kanta na Pilipinas. Tara na kanta na Pilipinas. Ipakita na ang galing ng Pilipino. Tara na kanta na Pilipinas. Oh, tara na kanta na Pilipinas. Tara na kanta na Pilipinas. Kanta na Pilipinas.